Alright guys, it's Shalom with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today we're going to talk about Ashes of Creation. I'm going to talk about expectation management, because right now Intrepid Studios, they're doing a very poor job of managing people's expectations. And you know, there's a lot of bits and pieces going on that have a lot of people asking, what the fuck is going on? Now I hate to get crude right at the beginning of the video, but I have to do it. Now I gotta say, there are a lot of things that are starting to pile up in the community, and it's not looking too good for Intrepid at the moment. Back in April, they had righted the ship a little bit. Steven agreed to appear on 4 different content creators' live streams, did 4 interviews. They released a whole bunch of blogs in March and in the beginning of April, and it looked like progress was being made. Then a lot of things started to happen, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to make this video. But I thought to myself, if I don't make this video, that's going to make me disingenuous, because you guys give me a voice. You guys subscribe to me on YouTube, you follow me on Twitch, you subscribe to me on Twitch, I got my Patreon sponsors. If I don't use the voice you give me, I'm just wasting it. So yeah, you can dismiss one thing when it happens. You can even dismiss 2 things when it happens. Even the best hitter in Major League Baseball will step into the batter's box and strike out twice in a single game. But the problem is when things keep piling up and piling up and piling up, you have to speak. You have to speak out. You guys gave me that voice. So I'm going to start with dates. Now, the big thing is we know the game is delayed. And because the game got delayed, we got that creative director's letter back in March. And certain promises were made. Now, this isn't going to be one where I just, quote somebody. I'm going to splice in here the promise that was made so everybody can hear it from Steven.
We give this commitment going forward to the community that when we give you a date, we are going to be confident 100% that we can hit that date.
All right, so what'd Steven say? We give you this commitment going forward to the community that when we give you a date, we are going to be confident 100% that we can hit that date. That is Steven Sharif on 8 March 2019. Now, to put this into a little bit of context, what I do want to say is he was talking about Alpha 1. He was talking about the testing. Well, what I do have to ask is, why would anything else be any different? Why would you have a company policy for test dates that we're going to be 100% confident if we can make our dates for test dates, but then let all your other dates just go by the wayside? So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about Margaret Crone. She's the community marketing liaison. On 2 April, she said, these cosmetics are going to be in the store until 1 May. And after that, they're going to swap out. Well, here's the problem. April 2nd to the 1st of May, that is 20 full work days of time. That means you have 20 days in order to say, oh, we need to have the next month's cosmetics drawn up. Today is the 22nd of May. That is 15 more full work days. That means we are 35 days late, because I know people are going to say, well, it's only 22 days late. But the truth of the matter is you had 20 days to work on it. And then you had 15 more that you're late. That's 35 work days. And this is on concept art. This is just on 6 pieces of concept art, and they can't lay out their plan accordingly to get us the store concept art. Apparently, they can't lay out their plan well enough so they can continue to make money. That has me worried. As a business person, as a profiteer, as somebody who lines up how to make money, when you're not doing the things that help you make money, that's a big warning flag right there. Now, I've said a bunch of times I wish they'd slow down on the concept art, and that's fine that they slow down on the concept art. But what they said was, I talked about this previously, and we had some changes with personnel, and there's a new artist working on the concept art for those cosmetics. Going forward, it will be a bit smoother. Okay, so for the record, last Thursday is 16 May, and I'm going to be honest, this message didn't really make me feel good. It didn't really inspire me with confidence because, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 697 times, well, that's just marketing. So, again, I want to use a different example, and I'm going to let Margaret say it for herself, what the commitment from Intrepid was.
And of course, if you miss anything from the month, we'll be doing a monthly newsletter that will encompass all of the things, so all of the articles, all of that stuff that you guys didn't miss.
All right, so what we have is, and of course, if you missed anything from the month, we'll be doing a monthly newsletter that will encompass all of the things, so all of the articles, all the stuff that you guys didn't miss. Okay, now this isn't just Margaret saying it. This is fulfilling a commitment on behalf of the CEO of Intrepid Studios, where he said all of the above will be provided in a monthly email newsletter if you miss anything. All right, so here's my expectation. Your game was late. You delayed it in March with a creative director's letter. And even though it's a creative director's letter, he is still the CEO. So he is where the buck stops. And in his creative director's newsletter, all the above will be provided in a monthly email newsletter. Okay, but we didn't get it. And the reason why we're not getting it, there was no newsletter for April as requested by Steven. The plan is to have one for May and moving forward. All of the above will be provided in a monthly email newsletter. All right, let me just back up for a second now, Intrepid, because I got to call you on the carpet. The plan was monthly. If you want to say the plan is anything else, well, honestly, then your plan sucks, because your plan was monthly. On 8 March and on 7 March, when we got the creative director's newsletter, you had to delay the game, and in exchange for that, you were going to go non-transparent, which is fine, but you had a line that said we'd get a monthly letter. But then again, the plan was before 2020. And the plan was Nodes 3 after PAX. So again, I don't know why you would do this, because now it's like, you know what? You're never going to fulfill any of your commitments anyway, because you keep missing them. Now, before anybody gets up in arms and gets mad, remember, everything I say is citable and factual. You don't have to like it, but the plan was before 2020. The plan was Nodes 3 after PAX 2017. And the plan was a monthly newsletter and 0 for 3. Now, we got this Reddit thread, and I usually don't like to, pick apart what people say, but there was a user who said, then how about stop trying to set deadlines you can't keep? Because the consistent failure to meet deadlines is pretty harrowing to those few believers Ashes really has left. And those of us who are watching it from a distance because now we're jaded from the practices. This is a valid concern. And if I was the marketing director, which, I was a marketing director many, many moons ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I knew how to liaise with, a customer base. But the response we get is, we currently have no dates for testing phases and we'll release new dates when we are ready. This is almost like, the joke of a copy pasta third world support ticket system. Yeah, it's an answer and it's a truthful answer, but it doesn't address the person's concerns because you did have deadlines. Remember this, you had a deadline of 1 May that you missed. So the user's just saying, stop setting deadlines. Rotate the store monthly-ish. All right, so next up I want to talk about some etiquette and decorum. And this next piece caught me way off guard. It was like, I couldn't actually believe what was happening. I'm a pretty active user in the Ashes of Creation Discord, and I'm sitting there and lots of questions get asked to the staff and they just get ignored. And everybody remembers this guy, right? Mat Broome, lead character artist. Now, Matt left Intrepid in 2019, and nobody really knew why Matt left, which is exactly how it should be. If Matt doesn't want to talk about why Matt left Intrepid, Intrepid should never be talking about why Matt left, unless one of two things. He commits a criminal act, and it's going to be in the San Diego newspaper anyway, or unless you want to celebrate and you want to make Matt feel good, make the community feel good, and you say something like, Matt has moved on to his own company, Hero Machine Studios. We wish him all the best. This is being just a decent human being. This is being a decent company. You want to celebrate the success of your former employees. Their success reflects good on you. But what happened is, why did Broome leave? He was let go. Now, I don't care how politically correct you try to make the phrase, you're fired. I'm letting you go. We're having to downsize. No matter how you phrase up, he was let go. You're fired. You are no longer, if you are a lead and you are no longer employed and there are still people underneath that hierarchy, you were fired. It's a much bigger issue I don't feel is appropriate to air in public, but if Steven wants to discuss it, he can. I don't know why, but this seems like Margaret just sandbagged her boss because now Steven won't be able to go to a single interview without getting the question, hey, why did Matt leave? But it's a much bigger issue. That's one. I'm going to talk about that one. I'm going to hint at that one in a little bit because they didn't tell us what it is, but I think I might have seen something. And then I don't feel it's appropriate to air in public. Well, yeah, you should take your own advice. You shouldn't be airing, personnel shuffling in public. And why? Because let's look at what somebody just randomly said blindly. I was running on the assumption that he left on his own. And that's what personnel decisions should be left at. People should assume. Maybe Matt's contract was up. Maybe Matt wanted to go work on his own things. Maybe Matt had creative differences. Maybe a lot of things, but should have never confirmed it. And then you even go so much further to say, and it was not a matter of disagreeing with Steven. All right, well then what is it? You sandbagged your boss because not only did you set him up for this question to get asked, but you also took away Steven's ability to be politically correct and just say, it was creative differences. Well, now Steven can't give that answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the Paradox Gaming Network, we wish Matt all the best in his future endeavors. He's going to be at Hero Machine. He is a co-owner, and he is going to be working on something with Kevin McPherson, who's also the lead programmer at Intrepid on Ashes of Creation. Anyway, I also want to talk about the staff size number, and this one is just, they need to fix this because it just keeps biting them. This problem is never going to go away, Intrepid, unless you just either A, admit that you don't have as many people working on the project as you said, or you fix the webpage and you give us names and job titles that we can go and confirm. So back in December, 115 people were working on Ashes. During an interview in April, there were 60 people in San Diego working on it. 44 remain on the webpage. One is Bear McCrary. So it's really hard to believe you when you say 60. Back in March, it was 60. April, it's 60. But 44 on the webpage. So what I said is, after 2 months of soon, my standard answer is Intrepid has 44 confirmable employees. Now again, I'm not discounting what Steven said. Notice what my answer is. 44 confirmable employees. It would literally take less than an hour to put placeholder names, job titles up on a website and put a photo not available. We'll be adding a new group of developers to the site in June, along with their headshots. We have to schedule photo shoots for everyone, and I prefer to do these in groups. These will probably be updated on a quarterly basis. Well, probably isn't really like, knocking my socks off. But hey, that's cool. If they're going to be up in June, they're going to be up in June. We're only about a month and a half away from, being able to confirm who those 60 plus employees are. But where we start to get into the disingenuous, and this is what I said was going to happen when you let too many things pile up, then everything you ever say starts to come into question. So we're going to talk about 35-person team in Malaysia has parted ways with Intrepid. Well, now you're nowhere near 115 people working on Ashes anymore. You used to say that you had 28 people working on the project in France. Later comes out that this is Stormancer, and Stormancer is a product. You'll notice that Intrepid Studios is a client of Stormancer. So those 28 people are working on something that supports Ashes, not on Ashes itself. So yeah, that was kind of disingenuous, and yeah, Steven owned up to it during my interview. But now that more and more things are getting on the pile, you got a long way to go to come back and earn people's trust again. So we got 115 minus 28 minus 35 leaves us 52. 44 faces on the webpage, minus 1 for Bear. I'm hoping that quarterly update is done to get this resolved because we've been, what is this now? May? So we've been going on about the staff size for 6 months now. Finally, I'm going to talk about that words matter. And any member of a company who speaks becomes a spokesperson for the company. This is why a lot of people should be told, hey, you don't talk. You don't talk to the community. You don't talk to the media. You don't give interviews. Even if it's somebody as high as Jeff, and PC Gamer Magazine emails Jeff and says, hey, we'd love to do a 1 year out update interview with you. Jeff says, all right, let me go confirm with the powers that be and I'll get back to you. Steven then goes to Jeff goes to Steven and John and says, hey, PC Gamer Magazine wants to interview me. What can I talk about? But with that said, I will say this. March is Nodes themed. This was on 7 March. 7 March. March is Nodes month. Okay. No ETA on Nodes 3. It will come out when it's ready. We've gotten an update on Nodes 3. It'll come out around Alpha 1. It's a marketing tool. But there will still be more Nodes content coming out next month. This month was kicking off Nodes content. That certainly sounds like Nodes month to me. Now, here's what really confuses me. There is no Nodes month per se. I know Toast said that. March was just kicking off the Nodes info. This is 33 days after your previous statement where you said March is Nodes theme and your person, your direct report, your employee said March is Nodes month. Now, why would you say this? This has absolutely no benefit. This is a no benefit statement to you. Who cares if the community is calling March Nodes month? You released 3 things in March. Know Your Nodes 1, Know Your Nodes 2, and the Nodes Tech video. Why do you want to correct 9 pages of your community calling March Nodes Month? There was nothing to be gained here. But now here's the big one for me. I was taught to always protect your boss's signature or your boss's reputation. You don't sandbag your boss, which we've already seen once today. Let's see it a second time. I'm not sure where we ever announced Housing Month or a month theme. I know we said our next video for y'all, maybe, is going to be on the housing building tool. Your boss quite literally used the phrase themed. I will say this, March is Nodes themed. Now, I don't know what Toast's intention was, if she was trying to diffuse, April being housing month. But the truth of the matter is that there's supposed to be a content roadmap. We're supposed to be getting content. If your community calls something Nodes Month, it's Nodes Month. Let the community be right. Don't tell your community that they're wrong when you're not meeting any of your obligations anyway. Don't take away their ability to celebrate. Then just slightly guide them to the right answer. Whoa, hold up, guys. March was Nodes Month. We gave out a lot of information in Nodes. That's why I got the name. We don't have enough information for you on housing to call it a month. But here's the big one. How can anyone outside of Intrepid know what the fuck is going on when it doesn't even look like the people inside Intrepid know? Two people in the same team are contradicting each other. Really, this all boils down to expectation management. It was not unreasonable to expect 3 more nodes blogs on military nodes, divine nodes, and economic nodes. We got the first node on metros, and then why did you release it with only 1 of 4 written? This is somebody not having their eye on the ball. This is somebody not preparing properly, because when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You should have had all 4 metro ones out so that you could have released 1 and then had the other 3 ready to go. You should have about 5 or 6 things stacked up in the outbox before you tell the community they're going to get a weekly letter, or you're aiming for a weekly letter. Because when you say you're aiming and then you miss, then really that just becomes whatever you hit, you call the target. It's not unreasonable to expect a weekly article. You said you were aiming for that. And let's be honest, you kind of hinted at we were going to get like progress, development, MMO. You didn't directly say that, but you definitely gave it that flavor. Sure, I'm sure some people were happy about the hippographs. Most people are really waiting for those other 3 node blogs. And it's not unreasonable to expect a monthly newsletter. You said you would provide one. So if Intrepid Studios wonders why the community is getting so hostile, so caustic, so up in arms, you're not meeting your end of the obligation. You said you would do X. You failed. You said the game would be out before 2020. You had to delay. Nobody wants you to release a broken game. But at the same time, if you take away one thing and you promise another, and then you fail to meet on the second one, when are we supposed to believe that things are going to get good? When are we supposed to believe that you're going to meet anything? When are we supposed to believe Ashes will be the game that you promised? Well, it's really hard to have that expectation when all our other expectations are being poorly managed. That's it for me, guys. I am sorry this video had to be a negative tone, but as you see, everything I talk about is cited. It's factual. I'm not putting too much spin on it. I'm leaving some wiggle room. They have a live stream next week. I would hope they'd step up to the plate, address this video, address these concerns. It's great that they say that they're going to put a new spin on the live stream, but the last one was horrible. The one before that was pretty good. They need to figure out what the community wants. As always, if you want to talk more, you can get me at Jalon #0001. I'm on the official Ashes of Creation Discord. I do stream. I try to stream 3 times a week. I've been really sick this month. Doctors can't figure out what's wrong with me, so some days I just can't. I can't sit in front of the camera. I love you guys, but I just can't do it. And as always, special thanks to my sponsors. There is a gift card giveaway down below. These guys are great. They give me money. I give it away to people. So with that said, I'm going to put this in a post-production because it is a Wednesday and I am supposed to stream tonight and I don't want to wear myself out too much, so I can do at least a couple hours. You guys take care. I'll see you at the end of next week for the Ashes of Creation live stream recap. Hey, where are you going? You're not done yet. See these videos? There's videos up here to watch. You gotta go over here. Hit the chibi. Subscribe to the channel. check out the webpage, and I'll see you guys on Twitch.